very much.
Yeah, so I am honored to be interviewed by a celebrity today, and she is not just a good person, but she is a book publisher, developer, and a coach. She is the founder and owner of a well-known American publishing house, Red Penguin Books and Red Penguin Web Solutions. So she has published many books under her publishing house, and with this, she is the ideal wife and mother who does all her work with enthusiasm and interest. One thing I noticed when I looked at her profile was that there was a natural smile in each of her photos, which proves that no matter how successful she is down to earth. And she believes that we should live every moment of our lives. And once again, a very big thank you, ma'am. And now we can begin the session. And I would love to share my journey of becoming a good doctor with you and my viewers.
Oh, I am so delighted to meet you. And, you know, you're right. I am about living your life, and you've embraced that. You have really embraced taking control and empowerment of your own life. Can you tell me a little bit about your story? Because I'm fascinated.
Sure, ma'am. So back when I was in school, I was an introvert guy, and I was ignored a lot by my classmates and kids because I wasn't able to, talk effectively and have fun with them. So I was also shy, and I used to keep things up to me. And people
I can't imagine. I can't.
People used to, make fun of me because I was very scared and nervous, and I was also silent and all alone in this class. So when we had a chance to go for a trip or picnic, they used to ignore me, believing that I was weird and boring. So this kind of, this kind of environment affected me badly, actually. So as I grew, I knew that such treatment towards anyone could destroy them mentally. So when I got a chance, I wanted to help people, and this helped me get the determination to become a doctor.
Oh, Dr. Shah, I cannot imagine you being shy and unable to speak as you sit here. We're lucky we ran the cameras. We were having such a nice conversation. You know, you are an inspiration to people to reach out for their goals and dreams. But I hope that someone right now who is a younger person who maybe is feeling kind of like on the outside and thinking they are never going to be able to be their own person. I hope that person is listening right now. Maybe it's a child or a teen, and they are looking at you, confident and well-spoken and handsome, and you are the epitome of, I'm sure, what they want to be. And what a great takeaway for that person. And your story is going to give us the key, because that person is saying, I don't know how to do it. So how did you do it? How did you go from that shy, quiet, ostracized, and now you are a celebrated doctor and author, and you have all sorts of things and you've done, and during this terrible time, all the lives you've saved in your medical practice. How did you make that jump? Can you tell us what did it?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, bad experience. And I think accumulating bad experiences makes you a better person. I will tell you one incident. Studies are not something that everyone loves, right? I faced a lot of challenges back when I was studying, because most of the syllabus was based on mugging up the entire things and the notes we got from our tuition classes. So actually, mugging up requires your short-term memory to work at its finest. So for me, that wasn't good as compared to scholars in my class. So another thing, I liked biology. So as a subject, it was very fun, and I was interested in exploring it. So I have noticed that when you like something from the bottom of your heart, it will take very less amount of efforts to understand and master it well. So, but science wasn't about biology all alone, right? The rest two subjects, chemistry and physics, took a lot of efforts because I hated calculations and equations. So
I suffered through chemistry myself, so I commend you.
So, I used to spend entire days mucking up the formulas and equations. So back then I used to care a lot about other people's opinion of me. And actually I had to pay a great price in my final exams due to that trait. I used to believe that I am not capable enough to get good marks in exams. So I got very average marks and I had to take admission in a private medical college in which fees were very high. Um,
Oh,
yeah, but as you know, no one is perfect in this world. And I later realized that when you pay a little heed to what people say and think about you, you can free yourself from the mental burden. And it's all about the mindset you create. And as a kid, you don't have any idea that the world can be so cruel. I know not everyone is like that, but
oh,
when you get to experience such things from people who are very close to you, your mindset usually gets accustomed to it. So
ab-
I used to ask myself one question. What would I do if I wasn't this fearful or anxious in the given situation? And there I got my answer. So everything in this world is very temporary. People change according to their environment. I used to cry alone in a corner of my home because I believed that I couldn't able to share this feeling with my parents or my brother. So I kept on going further on my own without thinking about the outcomes, and the persistence helped me to conquer my fears. And
oh,
it's the primal instinct, you can see in other lower animals as well that when they are put through similar harsh circumstances, they usually improvise to their surroundings, adapt, and overcome them gradually.
yes. Well, it is such a testament to you that you took all of that adversity and you overcame. You took it and it made you stronger. There are many people who, unfortunately, with adversity, it makes them weaker. And it's such a testament. And I love that you said mindset, because really mindset is the key. Many times we can't change our circumstances at that moment, but we can change our mindset. And that's what you did. And by changing your mindset, you overcame and succeeded. And that's the huge inspiring thing, is that any of our listeners out there right now, you have that ability. You can change your mindset, just like Dr. Shah, who's sitting here with me right now, and become everything that you wanted. It's all up to you. I do have to ask a question, though. Those people who, when you were younger, who kind of pushed you aside, do you see any of them now? And now they get to see what a success you are?
Uh, Actually, you need to forget and forgive the people who has done bad things in your life, because it will put a lot of burden in your mind as well. So I think that's the better way to dealing with these people, because you can't avoid negativity in this world, but you can get accustomed to it, like I've said in the previous question.
Well, that's very true, because carrying around that kind of bad feelings towards people, it's like pouring poison and taking it yourself. It only hurts you. So putting the past into the past has been a great way of you moving forward into a beautiful future. And tell me about this future. I know you are involved in dermatology. Why that field? What made you choose that?
Because when I completed my studies, I had many options to choose the branch which I wanted to get admission in. So I tasted the good and narcissistic aspects associated with each branch, and from that I came up with the idea that I have been working so hard for the last 8 years in my life, in which I have sacrificed my go-to desires. So I wanted a branch in which I could give time to myself, and also which allows me to work in both medicine and surgery. So I choose to become a dermatologist. And this is a branch in which I can give my full dedication and develop my other skill set as well.
Oh, it sounds like it was very thoughtful. That's great that it was a thoughtful decision about your time and your family and those things you wanted to give as gifts. But being a doctor during this time of COVID, that must have been a challenge. Can you tell us a little bit about that and any impact you've had?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I came across few difficult cases in my residency program in dermatology. I used to believe that dermatology is a branch of just treating acne or pimples and hair fall problems. Many of the people have the same mentality. But let me tell you about the case which I attended. So there is one autoimmune condition named pemphigus vulgaris, in which blisters are produced on your body, and usually it covers the entire body of the patients. When I was watching one of my patient in a routine OPD day, a patient came to me with her body covered with blisters and in excruciating pain. So because she hadn't got any proper treatment in the state which she was living. So I immediately rushed along with my other resident doctor colleagues to get her admitted to our ward. And we immediately started her on antibiotics and fluid replacement. And her vitals weren't so good, but somehow due to a quick decision from our mentor and our team, we saved her from going into a shock. And after she was stabilized, me and my colleagues used to take ward rounds daily. I personally did her dressing instead of the ward boy. And due to a very foul smell emanating from her skin blisters, other patients used to avoid going to her court. And she also faced difficulty in bathing and even going to the toilet. But due to her willingness, persistence, and the desire to live, we were able to cover almost 90% of her disease activity. And we also limited her disability as well. So she was kept in our ward for 3 months almost. And her financial condition wasn't so good. But when it was the time for her discharge, the couple handed me a 50 rupee note and told me that I should get some tea from the local tea stall, because I worked so hard taking care of them. And that was the moment I forgot all my pain of the past and decided that I should help people like this who are in need and who are incapable of taking care of themselves because of the financial, physical, and their mental constraints.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So it was that moment like a light lit up in you and you realized what your mission is. You know, that's just fabulous. I love that kind of a moment, because in the future, you could always reflect back on that moment and know that you're on the right path. But now, besides your medical things, you're also a motivational speaker, you're a columnist, you're a writer. Tell me about all of these different skills. What in your past has helped you to mold all of these things?
Well, it is said that one should be a jack of all, but master of none. And I'm a Virgo by horoscope, and I view the world from an artist's point. So I think people should have dynamic traits to avoid gloominess in their lives. So some people like doing the same thing again and again because their minds have been conditioned like that from the beginning. But I think when you use multiple colors to paint and create a beautiful image, rather than just using black and white colors.
Oh, I love that image. And I know you paint too. So that's a great image. You motivate so many other people, but what motivates you? What gets you going?
Actually, ma'am, what motivates me is the desire to change the orthodox thinking of the society. As I have discussed that most of the time we view the world from an extrovert's point of view, but we ignore the fact that there are people who prefer less socializing, and many of them are very creative as well. So competition is inevitable in every field of life, whenever you go in any place in the world. But there should be healthy competition, not the rat race in which we see in our society on a daily basis. So we see that people are usually running and fighting as their minds are clouded. And this thing motivates me, and the urge to prove that being socially active doesn't define you pushes me to become a good doctor.
That's terrific. And I'm glad you said that, because not everybody is the same. And that's important for people to, the first person you have to love is yourself before you can go out and help the world. You have a very clear vision of who you are, and that's just amazing. And that's important, so important. you have a story published in a new anthology. And, I, as a publisher, am all about that. I'm so excited. Congratulations on that story.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about the story, would you?
Sure, ma'am. Actually, this year has brought so many new things into my life, conducting lectures, giving interviews, organizing medical camps, and writing. I have explored a lot of new things. I wrote all my life, but writing a story was a new window for expanding my horizons. So my first ever story, 50 rupees, got published in an anthology named Pause and Pen. And it's a collection of 35 plus creations of writers from diverse backgrounds. 50 rupees is where I shared my experience in OPD. I worked at a government hospital, and it is one of the most prestigious hospitals in the city, especially the skin department of their effective treatments. So I used to examine around hundreds of patients in a day, but some patients left behind the marks in my life. So I shaped those memorable experiences in a story. It wasn't just an experience, but it was how I became better after that incident. It's a great opportunity to sit with an international speaker and publisher, man. And you should read my story and share your thoughts on it.
Oh, I'm so proud and excited that you did that. That you were able to encapsulate your experience. People have a hard time with that. They might have an experience, but to write it down and share it, that's not easy. Good for you. What about the future? Do you have plans for writing more in the future?
I think I can express my thoughts by writing, and it also helps me to understand and get clarity of my thoughts. So now I have started penning down whatever I think, feel, and experience. And I believe that I haven't just overcome my fears and failures, but I have also built a strong character out of them. And I have been through a lot of struggles emotionally, mentally, and physically. I would love to write a biography where I could compile all my struggles, failures, and successes genuinely. I am not great, but my challenges are so. I think my biography can be used as a guide for those who seek some source of motivation, guidance, and direction. And I would actually love to name my biography A Good Doctor. To be honest, I want to become the best doctor in the world.
I think that's a great thing to aim for. And calling your biography The Good Doctor shows us that it's not just about being the best, but to be inwardly good, to be doing good for other people, which is so important. And yes, your story is so inspiring. As a publisher, of course, I'm thrilled that you're finding that writing is a great way for you to not only express yourself, but to even understand yourself. That by writing, you get to reflect and learn about you. And I'm so glad you said that. For any viewers, writing is something that it's a gift you give to yourself. And that's just wonderful that you're doing that. Are you a reader as well? Do you like to read?
I like to be myself most of the time. So it was difficult me to, express my near ones, my insecurities, and it was very important for me to work on my mental health. So I started reading motivational and self-help books. And also I started listening to the positive speeches and audiobooks to keep myself positive and constructive. I found my source of motivation in books, actually. And Paulo Coelho is one of the authors whom I admire. You might have read his original title, The Alchemist. It was a very good book, ma'am.
Absolutely. That's a great and inspiring book. It's usually required reading in many schools.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Do you prefer reading? I always have to ask this, with paper or reading on a tablet, or do you like audiobooks?
I think audiobooks would be my first preference because, it puts a lot of strains on eyes when you read through a tablet or something like that, or a digital device, any digital device you prefer.
Okay, so an audiobook. When you're reading an audiobook, do you sit in a chair? Are you exercising or walking? Let's get a picture of this.
Yeah, I usually prefer to walk in my, my streets and listen to this audiobooks, because you know you don't get so bored when listening to a long title. So I think I would just prefer walking in the streets.
I get that. I get that. And when the weather is nice, it's nice to be outdoors.
Yeah, definitely.
You you are so inspiring, and I love your message about mental health. Mental health is so important, and I am thrilled that mental health is become the forefront of a lot of conversations. What is your message to people about mental health?
I think we are seeing a psychological crisis right now on a substantial scale. Actually, on the basis of my experiences, I would like to request the listeners to not compare their individuality and choices with anyone. Everyone is unique, and all have their struggles, challenges, and journeys. And everyone have their own struggles. So let's not waste our time comparing and bringing our morale down. Learn, enjoy it, and keep growing. Don't imitate yourself with particular thing. You are unique, and you have your own taste. This is your life, so don't waste it. You will have your struggles and challenges. You need to come out, and you need to come out with a strong character, and which you can be proud of. So that's my message.
You are so right. You can be the best you that there is. But if you start comparing to other people, you'll always be second best, no matter what you do, because there's no point in trying to. I think that Dr. Shah, you're wonderful, but I don't want to be you. You've already done it great.
Thank you so much, man.
But that's a great message to people, is to be who you are. And a lot of that comes from what you were describing in your writing, that by writing daily, even about your experiences, your feelings, your thoughts, people can learn more about who they really are. I think a lot of people right now are not who they really are, not inside. So that's such a valuable message about mental health. I think that's fabulous. Well, you have so many skills. I mean, whether they are mental health, whether they are medical, writing, is there anything left? Is there something that you would like to work on?
Ma'am, actually, I believe that I am an artist by heart, so I would love to explore different art forms. And art is not just about recreation, but it also works as a therapy and heritage. So I also like sports, and I also want to learn new games. So I try to keep myself fit and enjoy myself as I sweat my problems and bad thoughts out.
Oh, I think those are two great things to be working on, especially for the upcoming year and such. Tell me a little bit about the art. Are you a visual artist, a musician, a writer? What art do you want to explore next?
I think I would like to expand my horizons in painting, because
Ooh.
you can paint your thoughts on a paper. So, it's a better way of expressing yourself on a paper.
Fantastic. Oh, I think that's exciting. I can't wait to see your paintings. That's for sure. And any favorite sports you want to work on next?
Yeah, ma'am. I would like to work on my volleyball skills, because I admired a lot when people were playing volleyball in my school, and I couldn't able to play the game because I was too scrawny back then.
Not anymore, though. I don't think you're
Yeah.
scrawny anymore.
Yeah.
I think you're doing just fine. I think that's fabulous. Any other dreams going forward? It sounds like you've got plenty of things in your past that made you who you are today. You have things, pots in the fire, as we say, things you're working on. Anything else?
Yeah, ma'am. I want to grow stronger spiritually, mentally, and physically, just like I said recently. I want to be satisfied with whatever I do, and reach the apex of the personal gratitude. The best I can do is to remain strong and give my 100%. So I want to manifest and look for new ways, rather than thinking limited my thinking to a particular thing or circumstance. So when you manifest, you accomplish all that the world can offer. So I want to bring positive changes in my patients' lives. And I also want to help people mentally and encouraging them to live a healthy lifestyle. I want to expand to all horizons and learn as many things as I can. And in the end, I have always wanted to be a good doctor and a better human, serving the people and humanity to its best.
Oh, what a dream that is. My goodness, I love that. And you also said one of my absolute favorite words in the English language, manifest.
Yeah, ma'am.
Oh, tell us a little bit about manifesting. What does manifest mean to you? Because I love that word.
Manifesting means there is a uh, thinking mentality from Swami Vivekananda. He used to tell people that when you think good thoughts in your mind, when you bring good thoughts in your mind, that will be reflected upon your lives as in every field of your work and in your personal life as well. So when you think positively, you will also attract positive things. And when you give negative vibrations, then you will also attract those negative vibes. So that's my definition of manifestation.
Thank you. Just for everybody who's listening to understand that you are actually the image of manifestation, because you changed first your mind and you decided what you wanted to be, and now there you are. And that is such a great message for other people, is that manifesting means thinking, and what your thoughts become actions, and your actions become reality, and that's manifesting. And here you are today. That's just wonderful. Thank you so much. Any final thoughts for our listeners? Because we are so inspired to go out and manifest our own lives right now.
I think, ma'am, we should define our own metrics, because when we compare ourselves with other people's metrics, then often there are many times that we will get disappointed in the future. So we should define our own metrics of our mindset.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Shah. I am inspired by you so much. I can't wait to read more of you. I'm sure that your writing will be taking off along with the sports and art coming up. And thank you for your dedication to helping others. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the kind words. And on behalf of Derm Logics, I would love to extend my gratitude to Stephanie, ma'am, for moderating the session amazingly. And it was a great experience sharing my story with you and all viewers. And to be honest, I never expected to get interviewed by such a great personality on an international platform. So once again, thanks for having me, and looking forward to conducting such more sessions in the future. And I would also like to thank you all for being a great audience. Thank you.
Thank you. And my pleasure and privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you.